Hello friends, Lee Brown here. Welcome back to My Kitchen, My Rules in our summertime edition of what in the heck are we going to do with the garden that won't stop giving? I mean, right, it's a good problem to have, and in fact, at some point y'all can come back and figure out what I'm going to do with this many green peppers because that California wonder won't stop. So today I'm going to show y'all how to make the easiest and fast homemade garden tomato sauce you've ever seen. Now the first thing you're gonna do is cut your oven on to 425 because this is a roasted tomato sauce. All right, so go cut your oven on. I know I went to get it done early as I never plan ahead. I'm so proud. And here's what you need for ingredients. You need some olive oil. Mine is from Lowe's Foods. We love supporting our local grocery store. And I've got some adobo, which I'm gonna toss in because frankly I like to have the freedom to spice as I see fit. And then of course, oh, that's the wrong container too. I don't want black pepper. Oh, I want my Italian seasoning. Now, if you have fresh basil and fresh rosemary and fresh thyme, you don't need to have this all in one. But frankly, after I picked all these tomatoes, I was done picking. So judge if you will, but I'm using the McCormicks dried spices. And of course we need some kosher salt because that's how we roll around here with the kosher salt. So here's what you're gonna do. Get your roasting pan. If you don't have these Lexans, you gotta find a restaurant supply store near you because they will make your life easier. And then you need some tomatoes, and the amount that you need is enough to put in here. I started slicing, so y'all are gonna have your feelings hurt that you didn't get to watch all the excitement. And now I don't know where I laid down my knife. Where? Dagnabbit, where did I put it? Oh, this is aggravating and embarrassing. Okay, well, and the reason I was looking for it, this is my Cutco that says made especially for Lee Brown with gratitude from Kristen Stayback. Oh, see? So anyway, I've got about a half a dozen of these slicer tomatoes. You can use your Better Boys, you can use your Cherokee Purples. I'm using a little bit of both, frankly, and I like to use the ugly ones when I'm making sauce. The pretty ones I use for tomato sandwiches. And if you didn't yet hit subscribe and like and leave me some happy love, you should, and then go backwards in our series to find out how to make the perfect tomato sandwich. And so over here in the sink, I guess I'm supposed to show y'all this, we have got little cherry tomatoes. We call these Tommy Toes in the South. I don't know what y'all call them up north. These are yellow pears. And so here's what we're gonna do with them. Drop them in the pan. You need probably 3 quarts worth is probably the amount that go in here. And then I've also got some sweet 100s because I love the flavor of the little tiny ones. So I'm just rinsing them in the sink, y'all. I'm not slicing them or dicing them or anything else. They're just clean. I do want to make sure they do not have stems on them because stems don't taste that good. I have discovered. Oh, I'm not letting that one go in this sauce. That's for something else. That's that breed. I can't put my finger on what it is. I think it's a volunteer. And if you are a gardener, you know the fun of volunteers, which frankly, strawberries pretty much always volunteer. So do watermelons and cantaloupes and cherry tomatoes. In fact, I'm thinking by next year, I don't have to plant any of these Tommy Toes because I will have a gracious plenty. That one looks not healthy, so let's take him out. All right, so this is what you're gonna do. You see how easy this is? And this is your first steps. You're gonna roast this. Let's get them all in here. Now, if when you're picking tomatoes, you happen to get some green ones, go ahead and toss them in because they add an interesting acidity to the finished product, which is not a bad thing. Although you will want to add in a tablespoon or so of sugar here in a little bit just to cut that. Oh, well, we'll keep him. Okay, so our roasting pan now has a really good layer of little tomatoes and chopped up slicers. Now you need some olive oil, and the amount that you put in here is the amount that you put in here. So basically drizzle it around the top. You do not want to go overboard because that will make your sauce unnecessarily greasy, but you definitely want to give them something to roast in. Then I'm going to take my Italian seasoning, and the amount you put in is the amount you're going to put in. Oh Lord, that went wild. Okay, so if you're putting it in and it goes wild, And just do this a little bit. Lord, that went out of control. And otherwise, I'm gonna have like some super flavorful ones on this end and not on the other. Of course, they all going in the food processor here in a minute. All right, I feel better now. All right. Okay, so after you even out your Italian seasoning, if it goes wild, then we're gonna add some Goya Adobo, and the amount we're gonna use is a sprinkling across the top. Then we're gonna add in some Morton's Kosher salt. Don't be wild with this because you just added in some adobo, but a little bit across the top is gonna be just perfect. And I would imagine if I were a measuring type person, that's like 2 tablespoons worth, because you know, salt draws it out. And here's what we're gonna do next. We're gonna put it in the oven at 425 for 20 minutes. And you'll know it's ready when they're blistered. And frankly, I like mine when they're a little bit black on the edges because it adds a little flavor. So I'll see you on the other side of 20 minutes. Hit like and subscribe while you wait for me to come back. Okay, so our time is up and our tomatoes are burst. So let's pull them out the oven and show you what they look like, and then you have your final step. Ooh! Now do not drain the liquid off because you need the liquid. Okay, next step, your tomatoes are out of the oven. Get your blender. Now I guess you could use a food processor, but I use a blender because it gives me the consistency I like. And just scoop it in here, juices and all. You don't need to really add anything. If you want to cut the acidity a little bit, add a tablespoon of sugar. And we'll scoop it in here until we're about 3/4 of the way full. You definitely want to leave some room in the top of your blender. All right, here we go. Liquid and tomatoes. Next step. Yes, I have a KitchenAid. No, I don't know why, except it was probably on sale. And so we're gonna put that on. And now let's just take it, start with a low setting and then work your way up to puree. And if you saw it spit at me, that's why we start on the low setting. Now, if you don't like seeds, this is probably not your sauce. So you should do a different version where you can strain out the seeds and the pulp. But look at that, y'all. Doesn't that look like restaurant quality? Because it is. And here's the even better part. You can can this. If you're gonna can it, let it cool all the way down and then get your jars and follow your canning instructions. Or you can refrigerate it and it'll keep in your refrigerator for at least a week. So that's what it looks like. Enjoy the heck out of it. That's fresh, that's homemade, that's in a short amount of time, very few ingredients. And frankly, you control what was in it. So make sure you tune back in next time in My Kitchen, My Rules, and we'll see how we got rid of the green peppers, frankly.